another Sunday. So we finally were able to get, or I was, my wife's katana put together. And let me tell you, this one took a little bit more work because no handle or nakago is made specifically for it. So I had to do some minor adjustments for everything to fit really good together. That is the one drawback sometimes when you get a bare blade and you want everything to fit. Unless you actually have someone make the ska from scratch to fit the nakago, you're gonna have to do some adjustments to it, like I had to do with this one. Is it like all the fittings perfect? No, they're not. The ska and the bare blade though are from the same company, and actually so is the Seigyo. It's all from Bohayu. So you would think with the same company they would make everything to fit their parts, but they don't. So they don't have, like, most of them don't have a set standard. Okay, so it's time to put the wife's handle on. So I had to take the nakago to a belt grinder so all the parts would fit up. So I don't want to take it apart because I have everything nice and tight, but I had to sand the back side of the nakago right down here so everything fit nice and tight. We got the new hibaki on or whatever. Now when you do this, you want to make sure everything is kind of level. So this 4x4 is the same that's sitting on the other end. I'm going to be putting my foot on this, on the kashira back here, putting pressure up against it because you want to keep everything close together. So this is what I have right now. So the point's going to go into my stand, so it's going to keep it locked in for me. And then back here I'll have my foot. You could probably do this on a drill press, but like I said, you gotta make sure there's pressure on both sides, keeping everything compressed. Now the only things you're going to need is a cordless drill or a quarter drill, whatever you have. Okay. Now I find that I use an 1/8 inch drill bit for my pilot. Then I use a 7/32. I find 7/32 works the best for mikugi holes. And then what I do is I check it. Now this is just the mikugi peg, the bamboo peg, just a slightly little bit bigger than the drill bit. That's okay. You want that. You want it to be nice and tight. So I always check. And these are brand new Cobalt drill bits. So because my other ones were dull and it's a kind of a pain to get to my sharpener to sharpen my drill bits. Yeah, I just don't sharpen my own knives. I also sharpen my drill bits. I have a jig set up to do that. And then of course you're going to need a rubber mallet just in case things, you see it start walking, you can tap it up before you get through the nakago. And then I have a cleaning kit, so I have one of these guys. So I'll use this once I get the first up here, Makugi peg in, I'll drop that peg in, and I'll put this on top, and I'll use a rubber mount to drive it the rest of the way. Now the problem with this is these diamonds are offset from each other. So when I go through this point right here, I'll zoom in, that point right there, there's Edo wrapping behind it. Now I can try and go at an angle, but it's kind of a bear to do sometimes, so I'm gonna have to go straight down and go by feel and stop before I hit the Edo wrap. So yeah, it can be nerve-wracking at times, and you want to try and get it on center as much as possible. So let's give this a try. Let's get everything we're going to need close to us though first, and then we will go from there. Okay, so there's the first one. I'm gonna have to trim that peg down, but that's okay. I could go a little bit more in there. It's really super tight. Now, what I have to do is put one more in here, because as you can see the wrapping right there? And that's where I want to go. So, because I can't go on this side because I have the Manuki. So I got to put it right here. So let's get all this other crap off of here, keep it clean, and we'll go again. Alright, so now, as you can see, the Makugis are kind of high. I have a flush cut saw. We'll cut those off. And this is why I said you have to be careful. I kind of nicked the Ito right there. So it is a pain in the butt. But nothing. Well, that moves side to side, unfortunately. And I don't know why. It's probably because it's not an absolute fit on this, so I'll have to shim it later. But it's secure. But that's how you do it. Oh, nerve-wracking is what it is. Like, I was really irritated, the habaki that came with this one was not the one that would fit with it, so I had to order a habaki from a different company, which it does fit. If you look right here, you'll see there's a little slit in there. Now the only drawback is, because this is a different company, is there is a gap back here, right in there. So because each company makes their parts to fit their blades, so it's kind of a drawback. Is it sharp? It's relatively sharp. We did some test cutting yesterday with it after I got it together. So it's, I mean, like I said, it's relatively sharp. Could I get a zero static with it? Probably not yet. It would have to go over the Kuramakus first. But it does a good job. If I can get a zero static with a sword, that's sharp enough for me. The saya, this beautiful saya, real bullhorn and real Samigawa wrap all around it. This thing fits like a glove. I didn't have to do any shimming. I didn't have to do any filing to it. No, nothing. It just went together. Look at that. Now it does have side-to-side rattle, which I'll have to put something down here to keep that. Again, not made for this blade. Okay. Also, this blade has a much narrower profile when it gets to the tip. Okay. Whereas like my other Bohayu, it's a little bit wider up here. So, like I said, it's got a decent edge on it. It's not super razor sharp. The Tsuba is actually a really good size, because if you look at how it covers my hand, so that's a pretty good size Tsuba. My wife really likes this Tsuba. So we made sure that the man and the woman are facing outward. And then just the single woman is, let me see if I can't get this here. Let me put it back in the saya. And then the woman is on the opposite side of it. And that's the way she wanted it. And then I got the Seigyo tied on yesterday and cut down for her and whatnot. She'll have her own specific stand for this. It's a little front heavy on this one. Okay. And it's going to be. Like I said, parts are from different companies. So the point of balance is way up towards the front. So there's point of balance right there. It's not horrible though. You can feel it when you go forward. So it will assist in cutting pretty damn good. But they did a nice job on this. And normally, they kind of reversed it on this. Because normally, you wouldn't polish out the Hamon line. The Hamon, can't speak today, line would be more milky. And then up near the Shinogi, it would be mirror finish. But they reversed it on this one. Which is different. It's very different. But like I said, because they didn't polish this out, it's kind of hard to see the folds in the blade. But they did a really nice job on the folds on this one, like I said, because they're nice and tight, the fold patterns. And that's what you want. You don't want too much of huge gaps of folds in it. But this is one, they're super tight. So they did a really good job at doing that. So now, that this thing is all together for my wife, hopefully she has fun with it. And the color actually works really well with this. So anyways, the saya, I decided not to put the shitodomes in. So the Seigo just goes right through it because it looks better, because we went with 2 on this silver seppas, because there's already brass look, so we didn't want it too overpowering and take away from the aesthetics of everything. And the silver actually matches the fittings. But I was really happy on how well this side fit the blade. Besides, oh, now it's not rattling. Probably the way it's cut in there. But let's move this stand out of the way. This will be my wife's stand for this. So basically, it's a floor one. And the way you put a sword on one of these is the handle goes down like so, and then the blade goes up. That is the proper way of displaying your sword on one of these. And the reason being is you store it this way is because you can't use it then, because you have to grab the saya first. You can't draw the sword. So this is the actual way you're supposed to display your sword on one of these, is blade down or handle down, blade up. The only thing is I have to, on this, I'm probably going to give it a new paint job, is this needs to be glued. It's it was never glued, but it sits there and it shifts, so I have to glue it down. I'm not going to glue the base because it comes apart. So like I said, I'll probably give it a fresh coat of paint. I've had this stand for, God, a long time. And that way it looks a lot nicer. So hopefully too we'll have a cutting video with this. But my wife is thoroughly pleased on how this came out. I mean, it came out beautiful. So as long as she's happy with it, that's all that matters. So, and this saya is from actually Amazon. The same company that I got her Unibukai Tanto from. They have numerous parts and fittings. Even if you want to build a tachi, they got all the fittings. If you want to build the skas, they have plain just wood ones. So that's why I get a lot of my parts from. So that's about it, guys, for Samurai Sunday. The wife's katana is now finally put totally together. She likes it. She thinks it's awesome. And I just did half butterfly knot on hers for her seigyo. But other than that, she likes it. So we will see you all later, and have a good one.